Hi, my beautiful sisters, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Stephanie, and I am your C.G.G.A coach. I help women to become confident, grow in their relationship with God, and become disciplined in their personal life so that they can be the amazing, confident, God-fearing, goal-chasing achiever God created them to be. So as you can tell from today's title, we are going to be talking about self-love. Now, self-love in general is something that is so near and dear to my heart because, y'all, if it wasn't for the self-love journey that I embarked on in my junior year of college, which was 2013-14, I would not be the woman I am today. I wouldn't have the confidence to pursue my purpose. I probably wouldn't even be in a relationship with God the way that I am now. Like, self-love has completely changed my life. And the things that I am about to tell you guys are about to change your life too. So if you are serious about embarking on your own self-love journey, then make sure you continue watching. And while you're at it, click that subscribe button. So before I start this video, I want to make it very, 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 very clear that self-love is so much more than just doing things that makes you feel happy and makes you feel good. Like, yes, it is important for you to get your hair done. It is important for you to get your nails done. And it is important for you to just be in the comfort of your home, light some candles, and just take a relaxing bubble bath. Like, those are important aspects to your self-love journey. But that is not the main focus of your self-love journey. Self-love starts from the inside out. And those things are just things that enhances and sustains the love that you have for yourself. But it is not going to create the love that you have for yourself. In order to create that love that you have for yourself and truly change your life, you have to start asking yourself some hard questions, sis. You have to reflect on some things that has happened in your past that you don't even want to think about. But you have to, because everything that you've been through has shaped your mindset and has shaped the life that you have right now. But don't worry, because today I am going to be sharing 3 steps that you can take right this moment to truly start loving yourself from the inside out and doing the inner workings that you need to do to truly love who you are. So let's get right into these steps. So step number 1 is for you to do a personal inventory of where you are right now in life. And what I mean by that is, so many times us as women just go about life and we just keep going and going and going. And we don't really analyze how we feel, how we truly feel. Are we happy? Are we sad? Are we anxious? Are we nervous? Are we scared? Are we depressed? Like, sometimes we don't ask ourselves just simply, how are we feeling? And when you do that, you're able to be honest with yourself. And asking yourself this question is a form of self-care because it shows that you care about yourself. It shows that you acknowledge your emotions and your feelings. It shows that you put yourself first, because with everything that's going on in your life, you make sure that you check in with yourself before you check in with anyone else. So you guys know I always got to share a little bit about my story and everything that I've gone through, because I want you guys to know that I'm just not talking about this because I love it. No, it's something that I have actually experienced. I started my self-love journey in 2014. I was a junior in college, and what really prompted me to start my self-love journey is because I was in a situationship with this guy who really did not see my worth, and yet I tried everything possible to really get him to commit to me. And by doing that, I lost myself in the process. I started changing who I was. I started reflecting on all of my insecurities and just internalizing that and making myself feel like I was never going to be good enough, that I wasn't pretty enough, that I wasn't smart enough. And all of these things started to take a toll on me. There were other things that prompted me to really reflect on how I currently felt at that time, but this situationship was really something that I knew was not making me happy, that I knew was making me question who I really was. It's not until I asked myself, Stephanie, how do you feel? And when I asked myself that, I was not happy. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel like I wanted to feel. And once I understood that I wasn't happy, and I took that moment to recognize it and accept it, that is when I decided I'm going to start a self-love journey. I am going to learn how to love myself. I am going to learn how to be comfortable in who I am, how God created me to be, everything that makes me me. I am going to be proud of it, despite whether someone likes it or not. Those were the things that I knew that I needed to do in order to start loving myself. That is why I say you have to do a personal inventory and ask yourself, how do you feel? And one way to do that is just to journal exactly how you feel, or pray to God and just have a conversation with God. Just be like, God, I'm not happy. I'm just not where I want to be in life. Like, just really, really be honest with yourself, because it's only when you are honest with yourself and you come face to face with how you feel, that is when you're really going to start wanting to change your life. But if you never come face to face with the things that are making you unhappy, you're just going to settle. And that is what we are not going to do, sis. So make sure you do that personal inventory for yourself, which is step number 1. You can't do anything else until you really come to terms with how you feel. So moving on to step number 2. This is when you take it a little bit further and you analyze why you feel the way you do. And I want you to focus on 4 main areas, because these areas are the main areas that really trigger women's insecurities and women's unhappiness. Number 1, your looks. Number 2, your relationships. Number 3, your mindset. And number 4, your overall lifestyle. So when it came to my situation, what really contributed to my insecurity and my unhappiness was that situationship. And the reason why is because I just was constantly comparing myself to other women. I was constantly thinking that everything about me just wasn't good enough for other people. And I just felt like I honestly just started questioning everything about myself. I started to question how I looked, how I dressed, how I talked, how I walked, how I just conducted myself on a daily basis. Like, I analyzed everything about myself. And before I knew it, I started to have the same mindset that the guy that didn't want to commit to me started to have about myself. I started to not like myself either. Like, it's crazy how we can really internalize someone else's opinions and make it our own belief about ourselves. Like, how crazy is that? And that's why it's so important for you to analyze these areas, because that is what's going to get you to the root of your problem. I had to really stop letting the opinions of other people control how I feel about myself. That is why I decided to completely reinvent myself. I reinvented how I wanted people to see me based off of how I wanted to start seeing myself. And when I was able to do that, that is when the person that I wanted to be matched the person that other people started to see me to be. And that is when I truly started to see that I have the power to love myself. I have the power to change my life. I have the power to be loved the way that I deserve to be loved. I have the power to look in the mirror and feel confident in the woman that God created me to be. And it does not matter how other people think about me. It all matters about how I feel about myself. And it first starts with me. And if you want to start your self-love journey, sis, it starts with you. It starts with you looking at these areas. Is it your looks that makes you unhappy? Is it the people in your life that constantly point out things that they don't like about you, or the flaws that you have, or are they just not a positive influence in your life? Or maybe it's your negative self-talk. Maybe you have just been so critical about yourself to the point that you don't even know how to love yourself. Or maybe it could just be the lifestyle you have right now. It may be your job, it may be your current living situation, or it could just be the season that you're in right now is just very, very hard. Once you get to the root of your problem, sis, that is when you can start changing your life or changing your mindset so that you do not allow these circumstances to dictate how you truly feel about yourself, to dictate what you think about yourself, and to take the steps necessary so that you can be the woman that you are proud to be. And before I get to part 3, there is something that I just have to say. And this is for my sisters who are struggling with the way they look and just their confidence, and they just are always constantly speaking negatively about themselves. Sis, I want you to know that you were not born already knowing your flaws. There's something that someone has said, something that happened in your childhood, something along the journey to who you are right now that has caused you to become aware of certain things that people do not like about you. And you have now internalized the things that people don't like about you, or the things that people see different about you, to now be your identity. And if that is you, sis, you have to change that narrative of who you are. If you were told that you were ugly, if you were told that you're never going to be smart enough, you have to change that narrative. You have to believe what God says about you. You have to believe that God did not make any mistakes when he made you, and you are a masterpiece. And the things that God sees about you are facts. The things that God feels about you are real. And the things that people say about you, those negative things, are just opinions, and they do not matter. So do not let what people have said about you make you think that you could never truly feel pretty, that you can never truly feel like you are worthy enough, and that you can truly be the woman that you have always dreamed of being. Okay, so step number 3 is my absolute favorite, because after you have come clean with everything that is making you feel the way you do, it is time for you to create your own self-love goals. And I talked about this in my video, How to Become the Woman of Your Dreams. So make sure you click on that video so you can watch it. But I will briefly just share some of the things from that video, because now it's time for you to reinvent yourself, sis. Now it's time for you to start recreating your identity so that you can be proud of who you are. So that when you look in the mirror, you can feel good, you can feel confident. And when other people have stuff to say about you, you can just block them out, okay? Because you already know that they don't know what they talk about, and their opinions don't matter, because you are confident in who you are and you love yourself, and there's nothing that's going to change that. So when it comes to creating your self-love goals, now it's time for you to ask yourself, who do you want to be? How do you want to feel when you look in the mirror? Maybe that means that you may have to change the way you dress, the clothes that you wear, the jewelry that you wear, the way you style your hair. Like, there are so many things that you can actually change to make you feel the way that you want to feel about yourself. Another goal may be that you may start surrounding yourself with more positive people who are not constantly bringing that negative energy around you and telling you what you can't do. Sis, surround yourself with people that's going to uplift you, not discourage you. Remember that. Another thing that may be part of your self-love goals is to change your lifestyle. Maybe you want to start working out. You want to start eating healthier. Like, what is it that you want to do? Or what is it that you have to do, if you already know what that is, in order for you to truly start loving yourself? Do you even know what are some things that you can start doing today to change the way you feel about yourself? And if you do know those things, great. If you don't know those things, sis, take a moment, analyze those areas that I had mentioned: your looks, your relationships, your mindset, which means how you feel about yourself, and your overall lifestyle. What area do you really want to focus on? If you were to change this specific area where it is more positive and it is the way that you want it to be, what would that look like? And what do you have to do to experience that? And as you can see from this video, this is just part 1 of how to start a self-love journey. In part 2, you will learn what are some habits that you can really start doing on a daily basis to continue to love yourself after you do these 3 steps, because this is just the first part, sis. There is more to the journey. So make sure you stay tuned for part 2 so you can learn exactly what you need to be doing on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis so that you can truly continue to learn to love yourself. If you like today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or you're currently struggling on your self-love journey, sis, don't be a stranger. Leave me a comment, leave me a question. I'll be sure to get back to you. Make sure, if you have not already, that you subscribe and you share this video with someone else who wants to start their self-love journey. With that being said, I will see you guys for part 2 of how to start a self-love journey.